How accurately evaluating real estate improves your health. Hello, and welcome to this special pet video series. My name is Nathan Ayotte, the creator of the property evaluation tool, better known as PET. It's interesting because I recently read an article in the Wall Street Journal about two researchers named Janet Curry of Princeton University and Erdal Tekin of Georgia State University doing research on the correlation between foreclosures and the health of residents undergoing those foreclosures. These economists concluded that an increase in 100 foreclosures corresponded to a 7.2% increase in emergency room visits caused by hypertension among people aged between 20 and 49. Even though foreclosures are probably the ultimatum of stresses when dealing with real estate, the evaluation and decision to purchase property can sometimes be equally stressful. The good news is financially evaluating a property for purchase does not have to be stressful nor difficult. The process does not control you, but rather you will control the process. At this point, I need you to do something for yourself. I'm going to walk through a quick trial run using the limited pet version that you recently downloaded. It's best that you open the limited pet tool and familiarize yourself as you go through. Okay, let's go ahead and open the tool. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. At this point, I assume you've opened up the limited pet version yourself and are ready to follow along. Just to familiarize yourself a little bit with the interface you see here, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice multiple colored tabs. The instructions, the tenant occupied, tenant tax bracket, flips tax bracket, amortization, and the full pet version tab, which offers actually the pet tool at a discount right there. Now, the full pet version actually offers several more tabs, namely the owner occupied tabs, as well as the repair and maintenance cost tab, which is a very powerful tool in addition to the full pet version, as well as a bonus tab, which becomes very helpful when you get introduced to that as well. Okay, now what you're seeing here is, of course, several boxes which comprise several green colored cells. Now, the green colored cells are the only ones available to you for input. There are also, of course, several white colored and multiple colored tabs which are automatically calculated by the PET tool. Okay, as we go through a trial case, I want you to recognize how easy and user-friendly the PET tool is so that you can avoid falling into the statistic of stress and hypertension, of course, I just talked about. Unfortunately, many do fall into that trap when it comes to the evaluation, decision-making, and the purchase of a real estate property. I'm here to say that you don't have to be in that category. So I want to actually go through a trial case of a duplex and show you how easy it is to actually evaluate a property and what results you can draw from that. Okay, let's go ahead and start up here. I'm going to pick a duplex like I named before. And by the way, I am going to go through this quite quickly, and so if you have any questions or would like further clarification on anything, don't hesitate to shoot me an email at my email address. You can find my email under the Contacts tab on the PET website. Okay, now the units available for rent, that's 2. Of course, it's a duplex with 2 units. Let's say the list price is about $150,000. And I'm going to make this case quite realistic as well. So these are good numbers. The age, let's say, is 5 years. Let's say the square footage is about 750 a unit. So that makes it about 1,500 for the entire duplex. And the lot area is, let's say, 7,500. Okay, now we come over here, following the arrow to the mortgage information. Not much of this is going to change. You have here the down payment. Let's say that's actually 5%. And the interest is also 5%. Okay, continuing on to the cost box, we have here the closing cost, which is actually automatically calculated by the tool, but you can also input if you have a more precise number. Then the utility is, let's just go ahead and make that $100. That includes perhaps maybe you have yard maintenance or the water bill or garbage collection, anything of that nature. Let's say it's $100 a month for the property. Here you have the repair and the maintenance cost and the total closing. Now you'll notice it's in white. We can't change that. However, the full pet version actually offers the repair and maintenance cost tab where you can modify the maintenance cost based on the specifics of the property. Okay, let's carry on following the arrow to the finances box. Here we have the purchase price, which I'm going to set at $150,000. You may ask, what's the difference between the purchase and the list price? The purchase price is actually how much money you are willing to offer on the property, while the list price is actually what the property is on the market for. Okay, we have a 30-year term. Let's leave that the same. And the property insurance, let's say that's $50 a month. Okay, now continuing here on the income and growth, let's say the vacancy factor is 0%, meaning that we assume that both both units are occupied for the entire year. Now the rent, let's say we're collecting $750 per unit, so that's $1,500 each month. And the appreciation percentage and this information I'm going to leave the same. Now, here we have the tax advantages box. Most of this is actually going to remain the same, 12 months out of the year. Of course, we're wanting to analyze it. I'll just leave it at a tax rate of 30% and the passive loss limit. I'm not going to get into what that is. Now, we have here the tax information, appreciation, tax deduction, etc. But right here, I'm going to actually draw in the most important information. You see here the taxable income is 402 and the taxable income is 121. You'll notice that this information or these values are in parentheses, indicating that they are negative. That actually means that the total tax deductions exceed the income for the property, which is a good thing because that actually means the IRS owes us money on the duplex rather than vice versa. Now moving on to a very important box, we have here the investment box. And we have here, we can see in this cell, an ROI, which is a return on investment of 25.08%. Now, that is actually the return on the first year of the property. Now compare that to, let's say, an aggressive stock, maybe of a blue chip company of 10, 11, or 12%. Of course, we see here, this is double that. So it's a very good ROI. Now, let's go to the bottom line here, the bottom line box. We see here $18,000. That's the gross income of the $1,500 each month brought in for the full year. But the net income is actually $1,719, which is equivalent to $143 of net income every month. Now, that's the amount of money that you actually pocket every month after all the expenses, mortgage, taxes are paid for. Now, if you want, though, you can actually add in this $150 in maintenance cost, because realistically, that is money that you are pocketing every month. But it's suggested that that money be set aside in, let's say, a bank account that you open to account for any replacement repairs or any maintenance costs that crop up through the life of the property. But if you do indeed decide to add this to the net income, you would have almost $300 of net income every single month that's generated from this property. Okay, well that gives you really the overview of the evaluation of a duplex in this case. On the next video, I will show how you can use the limited pet version to analyze another property, comparing the finances to see which one is more financially attractive. So stay tuned for that. I do want to call you to one action, to email this video to 2 friends. Perhaps you know 2 family members or friends or acquaintances that are interested in real estate themselves and could really benefit from the pet tool. Please forward them the email that you received in your inbox. I'm sure they'll appreciate that you were keeping them in mind. Okay, Well, hope this video was helpful. Like I mentioned, I will show you how you can use the limited pet version to compare another property with the duplex we have just evaluated here, and which is more financially attractive and therefore would be the property to submit an offer on. With that said, hope this video was helpful. Have a great day.